So this week we have an update for us on the Central Coast counties. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to share my screen here. It's going for us. I'm going to start off with Monterey County. Maybe let that come up on screen here. So we have I'm going to just kind of go over the newsletter. If you're getting this by email, you probably already have the data, but I thought I'd do a nice little video to kind of discuss how my weekly newsletters are set up. Usually at the beginning, I'll have a nice video, maybe a tour of a home, a local area, or we'll highlight a certain market based on your feedback and your comments. But here we're going to go over Monterey County. So let's take a look. So over the last 7 days, now I only go back 7 days to kind of keep a pulse on what's going on currently based on recent closes. So here we can see the first point is that the average days on market were 43 in anything that closed in the last week. So we were 43 days on the market was the average in the last 7 days in Monterey County. The week before that, it was 43 also. And the week prior to that, or 2 weeks ago, it was 35. So we can see that we had dipped over 60 days on the market at some point, but we can see that the market had picked back up probably just because of the holiday lull. So we might have seen that. Also had the average price was $890,000 on anything that closed in the last 7 days. A week before that, it was 1.3 million, almost 1.4 million. Now we do have I've said this before, we have a varied state or a very number of cities in our county that kind of change our numbers drastically from week to week, depending on what areas of the county are closing in that particular week. But nonetheless, we had $890,000 was the average price in the last 7 days in Monterey County. It was 1.388 the week before and $1,018,000 2 weeks ago. And we can see this was an interesting point I thought to bring out was that the homes were selling pretty much at asking price. Anything that closed last week was at asking price. The week prior and the week prior to that, last 2 weeks basically, we were at 3% below asking price is what was the average. So we had seen that discounting going on really over the last 3 weeks, but now that seems to have tapered off. Again, probably that little drop in interest rates kind of spurred some activity about a month ago. So we're seeing the effects of that now in the closings that are happening in the last few weeks. So Monterey County, what we saw in the last 7 days, we had 23 listings that sold or closed, 43 new listings. And then as you can see, we had 21 that were list price decreasing. So this is why we might see some prices really, when I showed the percentages a minute ago of what was being discounted, that's why you did see some at zero, because really once the price is reduced and it's at the market price, it's gonna go, it gets sold. And how fast? Again, it's in about 43 days on the market. So really interesting numbers here. So this all tells us a little story of what's going on in Monterey County. We can see 23 solds, 43 new listings on the market. So we're seeing quite a lot of, we're gonna see this more and more, I think, as the springtime comes on, more homes coming on the market. And then we had 21 homes that decreased their price. So quite a bit of activity. That might be 21 homes sold in about a month, right? And then we had 54 that were in the status of pending or in contract. So quite a lot of brisk activity. You know, anyone that says the market is dead is not really looking at these numbers, because we have a lot of closings are happening every day, and this is evidence of that, of the activity in the last 7 days. And you'll see that in all the counties on the Central Coast. Let's take a look at Santa Cruz County next. The average days on market there were 77, 47 last week, and 55 2 weeks ago. And the average price in Santa Cruz County is edged up just a little bit to 1.2 million. And the last 2 weeks, it's been hovering about 1.1 million. So homes are selling. Now, Santa Cruz County is unique. It's one of the most discounted counties that we're seeing right now of all the counties on the Central Coast here. So they're selling at 6% below asking price. It was 7% last week and 6% 2 weeks ago. And that seems to be some of the largest numbers in discounting that we're seeing across all the counties. Now, Santa Cruz County is very comparable to Santa Clara County in its average price. So we're seeing a little bit of activity there, a little influence from Silicon Valley. And that might be why I think the days on market are edging up, because we're maybe not having the same activity as we used to from Silicon Valley. And take a look at the number of sold listings. So very similar to the week before, We've got 12 listings that were sold, and then new listings that came on the market, and 7 decreased their price. Not a whole lot of discounting going on again, but then, which is probably why we're seeing some discounted prices at the 7 and 6% that we saw. Could be that sellers are not reducing prices, but instead just taking lower offers. So something to think about if you see homes that are 50 to 70 days on the market, which is the average there. So if you're house shopping, that's something to look for with your agent. So pending and contingent, what's pending and contingent? So we see those changing from an active status to going into contract. We had 32 homes in Santa Cruz County hit that status last week. Now let's move over to San Luis Obispo County as we go a little further south on the Central Coast. Now, San Luis Obispo County, their average days on market, again, very consistent with the rest of the coast, about 35 days on market, 40 the week before, and 39 2 weeks ago. So very interesting notes there. And then we see our average price was $904,000 versus about $1,075,000 the week before and $821,000 2 weeks ago. San Luis Obispo County, very similar to Monterey County, and that's got a variety of high-end homes and homes in a more affordable price range. So you got a couple of different ranges. So homes that sold were selling for about 1% of asking price, and it was 1% last week and 2% 2 weeks ago. So not a whole lot of discounting going on in San Luis Obispo County once homes are priced correctly. And again, the proof is in the pudding here. Check it out, 27 sold listings in the last 7 days, 30 new homes on the market, 28 decreased their price in the last week, and 57 are pending or contingent. Again, closings happening every day, folks. So we're seeing a lot of activity along the Central Coast. Now, we're going to highlight Santa Clara County next. As you go up towards Silicon Valley, the average days on market, we're seeing a very brisk market there. So about 34 days on average, 35 days last week, 47 2 weeks ago. But check out the average prices. $2,057,000 was the average price of everything that closed in the last 7 days. And they had about 99 homes sell. So that's a very good average there. And about 1.7 million a week before and about 1785K 2 weeks ago. And how close to asking were these homes getting? Well, we see again a 1% across the board all last 3 weeks. Last week, 2 weeks ago, all the way back to 3 weeks ago. So 1% seems to be the norm for Santa Clara County. And what did we see there? Again, I mentioned already the 99 sold homes, but check out how many are coming on the market. 205 new listings pushing onto the market this week. And only very few decreasing price. 45 decreased their price, but we see 162 that went in the pending status or contingent status. So very interesting points there. And then, so that's kind of a recap of all the Central Coast. If you don't have my newsletter, be sure to like and subscribe on this, and we'll be sure to get you a link into this so you get these updates every week. But thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, or if you know anybody that's thinking of buying or selling on the Central Coast, remember, I'm never too busy for your referrals. But thank you for watching.